Hey now, it's Wednesday, it's hump day, and you're in the right place with Stacey Washington on Now on Salem News Channel. I'm so excited about today's program. We'll be welcoming in Donna Jackson, Project 21's Director of Membership Development, to talk about Black History Month. And then we will have Troy Miller. He's back from NRB. He's the president there, and the National Religious Broadcasters Convention is coming up at the end of the month. He's going to have some more things to discuss with us on that. In fact, they're having an NRB presidential forum, and guess whose favorite best president ever is going to be there? Trump. So we'll talk about that. Right now, let's jump into the presidency. So this is tangentially related to the presidency, only in that I plan on showing you how our cultural rot, it's actually upstream from politics and downstream from everything else. So I want to start off by showing you Meg Kilcannon. She is unpacking this Montana parents. It's a couple, and they're losing custody of their daughter because of her gender identity. Take a look.
The hinge here seems to be the difference between medical procedures and social transition.
Right, because in Montana, the surgical drugs and such are not allowed.
Those are illegal, but allowing her to change her name and change her pronouns, she's been allowed to shave her head since she's been in foster care. Those things are allowed to proceed. And we need to...
Let me clarify that for a moment, because the parents objected to it.
Yes.
But we're told, well, this is a gray area in law. That's only the physical. We can do the social transitioning.
And it seems, according to some accounts that I've read, that the stepmom has reported, they have been just fought at every turn and undermined at every turn by the people that are supposed to be providing care for their daughter. By these outside people taking the side of the child over reinforcing the rights of the parents and following the directives of the parents when it comes to their minor child. This is terribly destabilizing. I mean, their family will likely never be the same as a result of this whole situation.
Traumatized.
So this is the damage that is happening here is something that is very real, and it's not just a gray area, right?
So I find nothing more outrageous than the idea that some bureaucrat who's never met your child before knows better about how they should live their lives or go forward or even address a major issue than the mom and the dad. Now, there are instances, in fact, probably far too many instances, where parents are derelict in their duties and the state has to step in. But it's not that the state is better at figuring out what's best for the kid. That's not even it, not even close. It's that parent is being removed from the position of authority because they haven't done a good job, or in this case, because they don't have the proper political ideology. So I would normally say, parents are pretty much always the best source. And that is my opinion here as well. These parents know this child far better than these bureaucrats who are helping her to transition. Children often go through phases where they think they're Spider-Man or they think they're a pirate. We don't remove one of their arms and poke out one of their eyes during the years of their childhood that they are pretending to be a pirate. We just don't do that. We don't give little girls who believe they're mermaids some kind of a surgery to sew their legs together and have them live in a pool in our backyard for the rest of their lives because they believe they're a mermaid. These kinds of changes are only being forced on families in an effort to separate children from the command and control authority that is given to parents by God over their children. So I want to make sure that we're crystal clear here. In Montana, they have actually crafted legislation and passed it through their legislature to protect children from having the surgeries. And what these social workers are doing they're saying, yeah, we can't give her surgery, but we can move her to another state and we can give her everything she needs there to prepare her for the surgery that you don't want her to have. So instead of saying, let's get her into some intense therapy, let's treat her with some mood altering medications. I mean, these are things that make permanent changes to the brain of any person who takes them, but it's a better alternative than physically changing the body so that the child is then suicidal afterwards, because that's the most prevalent condition. The study out of Sweden and Norway shows that all gender affirming care results in a higher incidence of suicidality in all children, whether they're male or female, no matter which way they're gender transitioning. The result of gender affirming care is a higher incidence of self-harm. And it's contagious. The contagion of believing that you're in the wrong body can now be seen in children's groups of friends where Two children will say they believe they're not binary, and then the entire friend group of 7 or 8 girls will then be non-binary and somewhere on the gender spectrum. Now, this is really, really convenient for the activists because in no society has there ever been more than 3.5% of people who are on what is now known as the LGBTQ spectrum. So every bit of what we're seeing today is the result of indoctrination of children, early introduction of sexual material, which separates children from their parents. They've done those studies way back in the last century when I was born, that prove that children who are exposed to sexual content, pornography, sexually explicit material, they don't trust their parents anymore. It removes the trust between the child and the parent. Why is that? Read the studies for yourself. It's really immaterial why it's happening. It's that they know that that's the result of it, and that's why we see all of these books about gender and queerness and sex and masturbation in schools right now. It is an attempt to remove the authority of parents because the ultimate trust exists between children and their mother and father. So I am adamant about parents being aware. You have to have one of the parents in a position where they can visit the school, do pop-ins, and you have to have a relationship with your child wherein you can talk to them and figure out what's going on so they're not gender transitioning at school for a year behind your back before you find out about it. You have to trust your gut as a parent. If you feel like there's something going on with your child, there is. And you have to jump on that immediately because in today's America in 2024, post Obama switch, remember, all things changed nationally when President Obama, who was in the White House as a Christian, married father of two, the ultimate in tradition, said that he had moved over. He had changed. Basically, his daughters had explained to him how horrible it was that he didn't accept same sex marriage. And when he made that switch and he announced from the White House that he was switching his opinion, it validated so many parts of our culture that were previous to that seen as being alternative. It made them mainstream. And so I'm saying to you, you should get my book, Eternally Cancel Proof. I explain all of this in detail, more than 8 minutes of content there. You have to be absolutely rabidly interested, connected, and in your child's life for their good because this culture is out to destroy them. So I would love to talk to you more about this, and we will. We have another segment coming at you. Very important content here on Salem News Channel. We'll be right back.